Well, let's go ahead and get rolling then.
Yeah.
So, hey, welcome everyone. I'm Martin Hess, coming to you live from Texas, USA. But don't worry, we're live from Italy here soon. So, but I want to thank you for joining us today to celebrate the launch of Team Italy. And for our Italian friends, grazie per essere unito e noi oggi per celebrare il lancio di Team Italy. Or something like
that. Italian, bravo.
I wondered what you were working all day yesterday, Martin. You wouldn't respond.
Still working on my Italian and English. How many of you on this call have been to Italy? Raise your hand. Okay. How many of you would like to go to Italy?
I am.
So what if we had an opportunity where you could go over and experience the wine, the people, the culture, and you could write the entire trip off? So that's what we're putting together as an ACA business retreat in Italy. You can write the entire trip off. You can go celebrate Italy and in person with our Italian friends and connections there. So we're putting that together. Stay tuned for that coming up here as well. But we're really excited about the launch of Team Italy and really fired up about this. And I wanted to share just real briefly, make a couple introductions. Brian Harrison, who actually hosted the first event, we'll be meeting Lisa Bodenhausen here in a minute. But Brian, you want to share about the experience you've had with Tommaso? You first met him? There?
Well, I don't know where to start with that. Do we do the personal thing? Do we be politically correct or the actual really? No, he's laughing his ass off. I have to tell you, if you've not met him in person, he's one of the most genuine, heartwarming individuals I've ever met. And people just fell in love with him here at the club. Lisa Bodenhausen was so genius to bring him in. He's got the most extraordinary, you've got, when you have Chiefs players, which what that means is their income is, when they're saying it's the best trip they've ever taken, they have the money to go anywhere they want to go. And he takes them to the back roads of Italy, dumps them off and makes them run to the next trip. No, wait a second, that was a different thing. I'm sorry. No, I'm kidding. He doesn't do that. He really does. He just takes them to the very quaint places that no one gets an opportunity to see except the people that really know Italy. And he does know that. You can tell he's got a love for his country. He's got a love for his family and everybody is on this call. And I can't wait. I am so excited. I cannot wait to actually go to Italy and experience. And Tommaso, please don't dump me outside of town, okay? I really didn't mean that. We do a lot of humor here. Sometimes it falls flat on its face. But honest to God, it was a great experience that night. I saw what he is doing. I see what Lisa Bodenhausen is doing with him, and also Roberto, doing and coupling with this. And it's just going to be an outstanding event. Welcome to the ACA, folks. This is a relationship business, and it doesn't matter where you are in the world. People want to build relationships. So thank you. I'm not going to take a ton of time. Thank you so much. We're so privileged and so honored to be involved with those folks over there at 6 o'clock. So thank you for taking the time out of your day to be on this call.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Brian. That was quite a party there. And
yeah,
Rebecca Graham, the executive director of the Food and Wine Club, for hosting the event. Let's give her a hand.
Hello.
Food and Wine Club's a super awesome organization. Who doesn't love food and wine? There's a lot of wine over in Italy and a lot of food too. Some good pasta as well. But Rebecca, thank you for your leadership with the Food and Wine Club. I know you have a lot of exciting things planned this new year all over the U.S. and around the world. So you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and share about what's coming.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much. It's wonderful to see all your faces and to be able to connect with people everywhere. So the Food and Wine Club is really looking to expand all over the world, now having these great connections in places like Italy and Peru and all over the United States. We're really looking to highlight some great features and wines and breweries, distilleries, chefs, restaurants, cooking demos, things you can actually participate in. For instance, we're working on planning an event for next month where you can register. And guys, it is really important to register so you get all the updates that may happen to events, but you'll get a recipe and a wine pairing, and you go out, you buy the goodies, and then you meet online, and we're all going to cook together for date night in.
Well, that's awesome.
why not do something fun in, especially here in Kansas City, we're officially above freezing.
Right.
We have double-digit weather today. We're so excited. So we are really looking forward to learning new things, trying new things, and of course, when the opportunity presents itself, going and meeting, you know, our friends in Italy or wherever, and trying these new places and virtually live streaming that for everybody to be able to participate in. So I'm really looking forward to it. I actually have Noelle, she's a part of our executive committee, and then Alberto is as well, and Linda. So you're all kind of bumping all over the place, but that's all right. I'm so excited to be partnered with you guys and can't wait to see what we have going on for this year.
Yeah, thank you, Rebecca, for your leadership, and a lot of exciting things coming there. So, well, we got the main event here coming up. I'm privileged to introduce Tommaso, getting that right, Alberto and Tommaso, working my Italian there. But I've really had the privilege to get to know Tommaso over the last couple of years, and originally in Overland Park. And he's a great guy from the first day I met him, and I can see a lot of things we could do together. And so we're so excited and privileged to announce the launch of Team Italy. And without further ado, we'll turn over to Tommaso. Let's give him a hand.
Thank you. So before starting this event, I would like to thank with all my heart Lisa Bodenhausen, because if it wouldn't be for her, we wouldn't be here. So before we start our event, it's very important that I can give her the chance to talk and to say something about how we met and how we start cooperating together. Because the reason why all of this is happening is because we connected and we did the first tour together, and she invited me over, and I was lucky enough to come to Kansas City and present my tour. So please, Lisa, I would like you to do something, a couple of minutes, talk about your experiencing working together. Yes, please, whatever.
Well, I am the one that's truly blessed to be able to work with Tommaso. Hi, Barrett. How are you? Tommaso makes me look really, really good as a travel agent. I actually had a couple of former Chiefs players and their wives contact me for a private villa and drive and in Italy, and I was just a bit overwhelmed with what they wanted to do. So I reached out to some colleagues, and a lady said, "I'll call you privately." And she called me and she said, "Contact Tommaso." And I did, and oh my gosh, I mean, I couldn't have been more blown away by customer service, customizing, just the whole embracing of relationship. So one of the things that we first discussed, and this will show Tommaso right off the bat, one of the things that we talked about was these guys, they were asking for king size beds. Well, in Europe, king size is very different than in the United States. Well, so I asked their heights. I sent the measure, I called Tommaso, sent him the measure, said, here's their measurements. And Tommaso's like, gosh, in our beds aren't long, their feet are going to hang over. I don't know if they're going to be happy. And I said, Tommaso, would you be willing to have custom benches made and put at the end of the bed so their feet don't fall off? And he did. And they sent me pictures every single day of their trip. And like I said, he just made me look good. So and then like the next tours and the next tours, again, on and on, just very, very pleased. But the real thing that comes to share here is when I reached out to the people that had traveled and spent time with Tommaso and his family, I said, Tommaso's coming to town. The clients argued, I am not kidding, argued over where he was going to stay when he was in town. Now, I will say that the first group, the football players, they were like, we're going to rent a minivan and drive him around and make him sing songs in English. So So, yeah, he's just a joy to work with, and whatever we decide to do to make it extra special, he'll go above and beyond. And I am just truly, truly honored and blessed to work with him, and look forward to working more with Alberto as well. So thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Lisa. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so I think we're having some technicalities issues, but I'm gonna go on just a little overview on what we're gonna do. So we're gonna have a presentation of a new member of the members of the club. We're gonna start up here in the terrace, so introducing the Bella Vista. At the end of the presentations, we're gonna go in the kitchen and we're gonna have a little fast cooking show. And at the end of the cooking show, we're gonna leave maybe a little bit of time, maybe a little time. So for some of you that want to ask some questions, so please write something down. And at the end of the event, we're all gonna sing Volare together. So if you want to get ready to sing Volare with us at the end, that's what we're gonna do. Okay, let's start. Right now it's an honor and a pleasure to introduce you to my brother, who's the manager, and now is running the hotel restaurant Bella Vista in Pruneta together with my partner. So to you, Matteo.
Thank you, Tommaso. Hi, everybody. I'm the fourth generation of a family running this hotel and restaurant business. Actually, my great-grandfather back in 1906 started this business. Like back then it was totally different situation. So he opened up on the very bottom of this building a kind of grocery shopping or like corner shop where you can like stop by if you need food to rest a little bit. People back then, the journeys were mostly from in the Tuscany area, so people going from Florence to Siena, so by horses normally. So they like stop by here. So like my great grandfather name was Giuseppe. So Giuseppe, like we need like some food to keep going because the journey is gonna be long. But then people like start also starting from they're missing something on the jacket, like buttons or something. So basically in this store you couldn't find everything you needed for like this little trip. Then people like start to be more needy, quote unquote. They say, oh, do you have like a place where we can rest, like to sleep, because we're like tired for the trip nighttime. So my great grandfather, since he had like the building or with his houses upstairs, he decided to sell to his family, guys, I need all our houses upstairs to like build and then build rooms for our guests. So please, you need to find another accommodation to live. So basically, he bought for them other houses nearby and turned family houses into an hotel business. Back then, like only 12 rooms, but now we have 19 rooms. And like, of course, over the time, like back then, the bathrooms were like no in each room, so it was like very like old style, country style. But now, I mean, we have like 19 room with AC, bathroom, and all the comforts you need. So these become like in town, because we are like, as my brother said before, we are like near Florence, but at the beginning of the Chianti area. So it becomes like a place where even people from Florence decide to come over for spend like a little vacation, because back then was not like flights and plane to go and spend like time. It's like right now we have masks, we cannot go anywhere. So it was like the same situation like more than 100 years ago. Anyway, so people like Bella Vista become like very famous in the area, and thanks to a relationship with in another important family in the like this in industry, in the welcome industry, like craft family. My great grandfather like spent his like networking in all over Italy in the 20s and then in Europe. So he was able back in 1929 to put together an hotel owner meeting here in town with 600 like hotel owners, which back then was a huge event. Not today, but back then it was a huge event. And then he was very creative, and he said, oh, I need to have my own wine. So he bought a little piece of land in the Chianti area and produce his own wine for his own clients. So the same wine we have today, you know. So then Linda will explain you our wine is very like not like very like
Simple.
traditional simple wine. Then he like decided even to say, look, I would like to invest in the restaurant. So only not having like sandwich and simple dishes. So he created a very like traditional kitchen restaurant. So we have recipe nowadays that like come from back then, you know. So and everything we cook now are the same recipe my great grandfather, my great grandmother. I started to cook back in the 1906 and then the 20s and everything. So what we like in our family, because I'm the fourth generation, we like to keep the tradition. So, I mean, in the Bella Vista, you still find something that like belongs to the very beginning, you know. And we got lucky because my great grandfather had like vision, so he built it like this rooftop terrace. Before it was just like a roof. Now it's like a rooftop terrace where we can host dinners, events. So here we can host like about 200 people sit down here, dinner in the summertime. It's beautiful. Or again, like it's a little different than Florence, and because of our altitude, normally Florence is very hot, humidity high. Here you can even in the summertime you can like sometimes need to wear a little sweater to enjoy your night events here. And Bella Vista was also bombed the Second World War. It was like part of Bella Vista was destroyed, but after the war we rebuilt it. We still have some of the war, some all the I don't know, the fire and everything. So, but luckily, my grandfather decided to rebuild everything. So Bella Vista is still is still open, and we can welcome guests, and that's what we. So the best thing we like about our hotel is people when they leave, they tell us we felt like home. So that's Bella Vista is like created to be your home outside of your house. You know, so wherever you go, if you come here, you find a little like touch of your house here. You know, the warmth and everything. So even our restaurant is like you have your own meal, and you can like enjoy a simple meal. So now, since it's getting dark, a little cold because it's winter time here. It's not like as cold maybe as there, but it's
Very dark.
chill. So we go inside, and I can show you the Bella
Marcus,
Vista.
people need to turn off the video. So that
Yeah, turn off your mics, guys.
And
And go on mute if you're not on.
Okay.
And so we are going downstairs. There's like we have like here a few rooms. It is like the top rooms, and these stairs actually are the same stairs as like in 1906. The staircase, everything, and like we will have more rooms, like few rooms here, few rooms there, few rooms here, and we go back downstairs here in the kitchen, and in the breakfast, and in the dining room. Here we have a reception area, and we have all the like now all the like this screen for protection, everything, and this is the kitchen is behind us, and this is the breakfast room. We'll be in the kitchen later, and here you can see everybody else of the Italy team, you know. So I give you back to the word to my brother, because like after my brother was working and still working with us, he decided to kind of branch out, and he started his own business, as like Linda was saying before, to do tours for our guests. And so this is my brother, so I can explain to you his business and everything. I will see you back in the kitchen, just wear my chef here because I'm also a chef. So I'm gonna see you. I'll see you back in the kitchen. Okay. Thank you for listening to me. See you soon. Ciao, Matteo. Thank you very much for the presentation. Thank you very much.
Ciao.
So, hi again. Just a quick presentation about myself. In 2013, I started to tour the guest of the hotel around Tuscany with a minivan, and eventually I took a special license to be able to drive like a taxi minivan that can enter anywhere in the historical center, and very easy for the guests to reach the most important places. Like, for example, you can go to the Duomo of Siena and just park right in front of the Duomo and can get off right there, and among other beautiful other things you need to do. While I was doing this job, I was lucky enough to start a collaboration together with Alberto. We did start this collaboration in 2019, and I was so lucky to be able to drive one of his minivan of his transportation company, and it was really a good meeting, because I was lucky enough to use that minivan to drive my clients, and I think he was lucky enough to have me driving minivan, taking his clients, around Tuscany. Sometimes you go over Italy. I did take a family then all the way to Naples and to the Amalfi Coast. So, okay, at this point, I'm really glad and honored to introduce Alberto, who's not only the owner of the transportation company, he's even the owner together with Nita, which you're going to see. She's behind the scene all the time, but she's probably going to switch the camera. So Alberto is the owner of the
I'm the movie maker.
company and the agency, travel agency. So to you, Alberto, and I'll meet you later on, guys. Thank you very much, Tommaso, for the introduction and for the words. I'm Alberto. I was born in Florence, and as Tommaso was saying before, I'm the owner of a transportation company since more or less 20 years with my father. We have several cars, all Mercedes, and we drive clients, eventually you in the future, around Tuscany and Italy. On more or less was on 2013, I will never forget, during my studies as a technical director, I met Linda, my now business partner, and together we founded Italy Customized, our tour operator and travel agency in Florence. So I will pass now the next introduction to Tommy, Sergio, or that would be Linda actually. So
hang on a second.
If you want, I can.
I was actually trying to write, don't worry, he hasn't been driving for 20 years. Because if he's been driving for 20 years, that means he was driving when he was around 7 or 8 years old, right? Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with you and the entire members of the ACA. We're so honored to be part of this club. So as you can hear from my accent, I look Italian, but I'm actually from Australia. I've been in Florence for 21 years. I originally have Italian heritage, and I am a local tour operator, a guide, and also a sommelier. So everything that I do is evolved around food and wine. I know it's a hard life, but somebody has to do it.
True.
And we can't wait to meet you guys in Italy so we can bring you to all of the most beautiful places where we can eat, drink, and celebrate together. Thank you. I'm going to pass you to Sergio.
Okay.
Aspetta. Okay.
So I'm going to introduce Sergio right quickly. So as my brother was saying upstairs in Paris, Brunetta is famous for terracotta. So even the famous Brunelleschi Dome in downtown Florence is made out of clay, as you can see them behind here. A clay of terracotta. The peculiarity of this terracotta is it can hold very low temperature without cracking. So up until minus 20 degrees, 24, I think is the technical. So Sergio has been a family tradition, a terracotta maker. His specialty is ceramic and home painted ceramic. So
Now, of course, you can explain better than me what he does. So please, Sergio, to you, if you don't mind, explain what is your pretty beautiful work at your studio.
I will try to explain. I have an old family tradition in producing terracotta in Brunetta, dating back to the 18th century. And actually, the production has changed a little bit, but the material, the clay, is still the same. They use in the old times, the Etruscan times. So here are three samples of my production. This is the planter in small, but I can produce in bigger size. This planter can stay outside in any climate. I export to the US, also this one, in bigger, of course. And these are hand painted. These are handmade and hand painted with ceramic. And this is also handmade and hand painted.
So, you might explain how does it work? The fact that you have to cook it twice, right? How does
Two
it
times. So one time like this one, then glazed with a normal white base. On the white base, we paint with colors and we refire, and then it's finished.
And the idea you were telling me one time that it's very difficult to paint it because you need to know which color they're going to transform, right?
Yes.
After they cook them.
The color, they change.
So, for example, the green is blue.
Black.
Black.
The green is black.
So imagine the artist has to envision what the painting is going to look like after it's been fired for the second time. Sorry.
No. Okay, that's important. That one is hand painted, and also it's also for as a planter. It can be used outside. The color, they don't change with the passing of time, with the weather, and they remain the same. And the plant can live inside with no problem, and stay inside. Yes.
And so, Sergio is one example of what we do in our tours. So when you're going to come to Pineda and we tour around, we make a stop to his laboratory, to his studio, and you can personally see what he does, directly, so live. So it's really a great experience. It's really fantastic. No, Alberto was reminding me of that. I'll go with that at the end of the. Don't worry, but thank you for reminding me. Okay, so the next member. Thank you very much, Sergio. That's that. Anything else you want to add? Something else you want to say? No, it's okay. Okay. We'll come up with that. Sure. Okay, another member of the club is my dear friend. We know each other since 4 years, actually. And it's my dear friend, Bernardino, for me. And Steve, this is his special mask, and so he speaks English.
Fantastico questa maschera.
Go ahead, Dino.
Hello, everyone. As you can see, an artist. I try to make functional art. Most of the things that I do have functionality, as well as trying to be as harmonic as possible with the shapes, the colors, and the materials. I like to work metals, leather, wood, mainly. And like this guy, for example, is it's a grandma phone. It's basically you put your phone in there.
Is it working?
It's working. You put your phone in there, and then you put some music, and then it just amplifies.
We're going to use it at the end to sing Volare.
Okay.
That's excellent.
Isn't that fabulous?
And, actually, I do them all. They're all different. I don't like to do the same thing twice. They're all unique. This particular one has a rock that I found on the western shores of the Black Sea. It's some sort of iron-ish rock. I don't know. I just fell in love with it. I was like, I'm going to use that. But I use like different materials. Like I found an anchor last 2 years ago in the middle of the sea, like 50 meters down. I was like, I'll put my phone on it. So every piece has sort of like its own story and unique. I do other things, like this is like the product of basically The lockdown, the time I had the material, it is recycled materials. It's all brass, copper, wood. It's a steampunk plane, but it's also a wind direction indicator. I couldn't make an anemometer because it doesn't really measure the speed of the wind, but it'll give you the direction of it. It's supposed to be in a garden in the open air. It's mostly, like I said, brass and copper, so it'll get better with time. As it'll age, it'll start having like some streaks of green, maybe some blues on the copper. It's already stained and oxidated, but it'll get better if you keep it outside. It'll last for, I don't know, 3 lifetimes, I think, at least. And some other things, these guys are Steampunk Goggles. Again, metal is mostly copper and brass. Sometimes I use iron, like on this one. This is iron and copper and leather. And these guys, a lot of people, they want to use them on a motorcycle, but I always say don't use them on a motorcycle because you have no sight vision, so you might get an accident. But you'd be surprised, most people, when the world was normal, they would use it to go dance, raves, discos, and whatever. And now I'm left with people that play video games like World of Warcraft, and they dress up, and you know, they wear these things, and they fit the part. This is a cover for an iPad. Again, leather, brass, and wood.
So beautiful.
Thank you. And
show us your mask again.
Sure. This is, I didn't do this for the current situation. I did it for an ad back, but it turned out to be very useful. Although when I wear it around, a lot of people get scared.
Fantastical.
I had some old ladies just stop and just look at me and not saying anything. So after a few times, I was like, well, I'll wear a normal mask like
Thank you very much, Milo. Thank you for your presentation. Thank you very much. So the next member of the ACA Italy Club is Pastor Fabri. This evening to represent Pastor Fabri, we have Pierre. He's their front man who's taking care of the museum they're building. It's already there, they're enlarging. Before I hand it over to you, I want to say that Pastor Fabri has been producing pasta since the end of the 1800s. You're going to tell us exactly when. I don't remember by heart right now. I know, sorry. And my family business, my family restaurant has been using the pasta Fabri since 4 generations. So since they were producing their 5 generations, we have 4 generations. Since then, that's when we've been using pasta Fabri at the restaurant, and that's what I've been eating all my life. Pasta Fabri. Okay. To you, please present the pastificio. Yeah.
Hi everybody, my name is Pierre. I'm the digital manager of Pastificio Fabri, and I am also responsible of our museum. And I started 3 years ago. After a few years as a manager in big companies, I work for Invisalign. Everybody knows Invisalign in the US. And I work for Michael Page, very different kind of works. When I met the maker, Fabri has been created, has been established in 1893, and for 5 generations, from father to son, they have passed down their knowledge, their know-how, and their passion, and the whole production has remained completely unchanged. This is the incredible thing. Our pasta is absolutely unique as well because we use the highest quality raw material. We use 100% organic wheat, 100% Italian. We also have 3 kinds of organic, you might know organic ancient wheat, which has proven in recent years and its superiority over modern grain in terms of nutritional qualities, for example, or digestibility. Yeah, another property of our pasta is another thing unique about us is the production. We are working very low temperature. We are the only pasteurization in the world that actually shows the temperature we use on our production, 38 degrees. We don't go above 38 degrees Celsius, which is 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And so this leads us to a very slow drying. To get one pack of this is spaghettoni, which means big spaghetti. It takes 6 days to dry. Whereas in the big, in the industrial industrial pasta factory, it would take 1 to 2 hours to dry. So you can compare the products. And like I said before, we also had a museum. There are more than 40 first half of the 20th century with testimonies of Tuscan peasant life, antiques, dozens of antiques used over the past to make pasta. Even American machine, we have a 10, 11 very rare American machine to make pasta from the Antonio family, very famous in England. And so when you come, you have a tour, and the tour will be the whole process of making pasta. We'll tell you what is gluten, why there is bad gluten and good gluten, what's the difference between ancient grain and modern grain, between soft wheat and hard durum wheat, etc. Then we will take you into the display area. We'll show you the machine, the objects, and we will answer to your question. Then after that, we will take you to the production area. You will see on the first floor how we did for 100 years. And that's dedicated to the museum and the tasting. So we will taste pasta, wine as well, and everything that Tuscany has to offer.
Pierre, everyone's asking if they can, if you can ship the pasta to the US.
We're working to that.
Yes, we are working to absolutely with Tommaso. Yes.
Yeah, we're working to that together. Me and Alberto. So we're actually in touch with the reporter. Soon we're gonna give you the details of all that, but we're in process of that. But yes, it is gonna happen soon. I'll let you know when exactly, but it's probably gonna take a month or so. Yes.
And everyone wants to buy that.
The gramophone.
And they want to ship the vases of terracotta as well.
Before I go into the last day here, we are planning single events. So we're going to do a single event to the pasta Fabri. So there's going to be an event dedicated just to pasta factory. We're going to go there and you're going to see, we're going to walk through the pasta finishers, see how the pasta is making, the story of pasta Fabri, the fifth generation, how the great-grandfather started everything, how they select different grain, how is the story and the production. So the same we're going to do with my dear friend Dino. We're going to go in his studio in Siena. Has a really beautiful studio where I actually had lived part of my life. When I was studying in Siena, I was lucky enough, he gave me the apartment with a very good rent, 0. And so we're going to show his studio and how he works and what he does. Same we're going to do to Sergio. We're going to go in the studio of Sergio as well. And of course, we're going to do a little tour, me, Linda, and Alberto driving around. We're going to still have to pick the place. Probably it could be Pisa, it could be Lucca, or maybe Florence. We'll let you know.
Drinking
wine. What were you saying?
Drinking wine.
Drinking wine for sure. We're going to stop at the winery, which is what we miss right now. Actually, there is a winery who's about to enter the team. So I really hope that one of these events is still going to be presented in one of the Impruneta winery. Talking about wine and product that Impruneta is famous for terracotta. Wine is getting really, really famous right now, and of course, olive oil. So here we have my dear friend Filippo. We've been playing tennis together.
Yes, ancient time.
Ancient time.
Years ago.
Exactly, we're a teenager, but he's the expert, and he's going to tell you what's the difference of filtered oil and the history of oil. So please to you, Filippo.
Yes, thanks a lot, everybody. Well, my name is Filippo. I live in Impruneta, and I'm an extra virgin olive oil producer. I have a farm in about 15 hectares and 2,500 olive trees. The farm was bought from my grandfather at the end of the Second World War. And now I run the farm and I produce organic extra virgin olive oil. Some information about our production. We start collecting olives at the end of October and we last till the end of November. And the oil is obtained from 4 or 5 different varieties of olives. Here you can see our biggest packaging. It is a 5-liter tin, but of course we have also dark glass bottles of different sizes, and where we preserve and bottle our extra virgin olive oil. As I said before, the oil is obtained from 4 or 5 different olive varieties. We have in this area, in the surrounding of Impuneta, Frantoio, Lecino, Pendolino, and Moraiolo. They are the main important and widespread varieties of olives in this area. The oil is obtained with it is a blend of this kind of olives, and has to be filtered if you would like to preserve the quality and the aroma and the perfumes of the extra virgin olive oil. Our main customers are in Italy, of course, but also around Europe, abroad. We have several customers also in the United States, where we ship our production. And one thing I'm also an extra virgin olive oil tasters, professional extra virgin olive oil tasters. I'm the chief and panel leader of the first commission of Chianti Classico commission for tasting extra virgin olive oil. And I will be very glad to show you how we taste extra virgin olive oil. This is quite different from tasting wine, because we have, this is not easy, but it's a very, very interesting word. And yes, I will be very, very happy to show you how we make it and to receive in my farm when we come over here in England. Thanks a lot.
Everyone wants to buy the olive oil.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Okay, so we're gonna move in the kitchen, and my brother, he's starting to